Let's turn now to events on the ground in Ukraine, and the city of Mykolaiv is on the front lines of the war in southern Ukraine. It's been hit by Russian attacks time and time again since March and is blocking an advance by Moscow's forces towards Odesa. Our correspondent Mathias Bölinger is embedded with the Ukrainian army on the front line near Mykolaiv and spoke to residents who have lived through the onslaught.
Suburban dreams shattered, lives destroyed by 8 Russian bombs. The southern Ukrainian city of Mykolaiv has been plagued by bombing and shelling since the beginning of the war. Alexander was sitting in his garden in early March when 2 planes flew overhead, dropping bombs.
There were explosions. There was white smoke everywhere. It took off the roof and the fence. Over there, 2 people died. It was a clear day. They were flying low. They must have seen that there are no soldiers here. Just us civilians.
Fighting continues in the region during our visit. It was here in Mykolaiv that the Russian advance was stopped. Now the city is blocking a Russian advance towards Odesa. But the price is destruction. In late March, the governor's residence became a target. This building was hit by a Russian caliber missile, the obvious target being the governor, who has been one of the most important public figures during this war.
Good morning. We are from Ukraine. Last night they bombed and bombed and bombed.
We are from Ukraine. The opening line of Vitaly Kim's daily video has become famous. Being at the front line, his videos are watched all over the country. The governor is a close ally to President Zelensky.
We have no chance for now to get through our defense, so I don't think they had no forces to get through our defense for now, for a couple of days at least.
For now, pressure on the city has eased. A priority is to restore water supplies. For 3 weeks now, the taps in the city have run dry.
We are fighting and overcoming all difficulties. We always hope for the best. I think hope for the future and optimism are probably characteristic traits of the Ukrainian people. Nothing can break us.
So new technologies in life.
Within the next week, the city administration has promised tap water will be running again.
Mathias Bölinger filed that report and joins us now from Kyiv. Welcome, Mathias. Was there a sense that Russian offensives have been gathering pace to coincide with today's Victory Day celebrations?
Shelling has intensified. Odesa has been hit again today. Now that's 3 days in a row that rockets were fired on that city or the surrounding areas. There has also been intensive fighting in Donbass in the front line. This is where most of the action, most of the fighting is happening right now. The Russians have been advancing a little bit. The Ukrainians have been advancing in another points. Overall, the last few days have been intense, but it was not the barrage that people have expected, or some people have predicted that we have seen so far.
OK, and the fight for the east, of course, rages on. What's the latest there?
The Russians have made incremental gains in some places, but the Ukrainians have been able to drive the Russians back. In other places, the city of Kharkiv is now more or less, the Russian forces have been driven away from the city of Kharkiv significantly. That's significant because the Ukrainians have taken many of the positions from where the city was shelled during the past few weeks, and that caused this destruction in the city that the Russian troops had never entered. But on the other hand, the Ukrainians had to retreat from some of the smaller towns in Donbass, and fighting is intense there. There are also counter-offensives. There's the hope that the Ukrainian troops are trying to cut supply lines by moving in from the Kharkiv area towards east, cutting off some of the Russian troops further south of these positions, but nothing has been decided there yet. It's still a very intense battle. This is where a lot of the things that will happen in the next weeks will be decided.
And a brief word about the capital, Kyiv. Authorities have been warning residents to brace for more airstrikes. What's happening there at the moment?
It's a beautiful day, and it's quiet so far. The day has not ended yet. We don't know what's going to happen in the next few days, but so far these predictions have not materialized.
OK, thank you for that, DW correspondent Mathias Bölinger in Kyiv.